Hi guys, welcome to Strength Reversed. It's Amy. Thanks for joining me today for day 28 of the 31 Days of Spooky, hosted by Tail Raven Tarot. And today's topic is death positivity. And when I saw this topic, I knew I wanted to do this video. And I immediately thought I would talk about Caitlyn Doughty, who has a channel called Ask a Mortician. But Corbin from Tail Raven Tarot also talked about her. And so I'm going to link Corbin's video, of course, because if you have not seen Ask a Mortician, I would highly suggest watching a few videos. She is on a mission. This is a person who has she's a mortician, and she has a mortuary, a funeral home that really tries to involve family members in caring for their own dead, which is something that we did for many, many centuries, and now it is a little bit taboo. And I've always wondered about that. I have to admit, my plan is to live forever, but if that doesn't work out, that channel is one of the things that has really made me think about how I want to be cared for if I go, if and when. So, we have here where I live, we have a green cemetery where you are only allowed to be buried in a shroud or a basket or a cardboard box or something that is going to biodegrade, and you can have one piece of jewelry and you cannot be embalmed. So you just kind of naturally go back to the ground. And, I really like that idea. I don't understand this idea that you have, if you love your loved one, you'll try to keep them from decaying, because I think that is the whole process of being embalmed is really pretty brutal. And they do all sorts of things to you. It's a really harsh chemical. They clip your eyes shut. They do all sorts of stuff. And I've always known, like, that's a no for me. My mom has always been very practical about these things, and she believes that this is just a natural part of life. So she and my dad, who I would imagine was sort of dragged along for this ride without really enjoying it, they have planned everything. My mom has her medical directives. She knows exactly what she wants. She knows who's getting what. And she's not afraid to deal with that stuff. And I'm still a little bit apprehensive about that. But I've seen a couple of documentaries. One was a documentary about death positivity, and I saw this many years ago, but it was about people who are, they knew that they were dying. One man was a farmer. He was just really old, and he kind of felt like it was getting close to his time. And so he and his son and his grandsons all made his casket together, and they put symbols of, what was important to him on his casket. And he just accepted it, that was going to happen someday, and it's natural and it's normal, and he could look back and celebrate and appreciate the life that he had. And I think that is best case scenario. Corbin made an excellent point. They said that what's most frightening is how we're going to go, or a medical situation, and the whole process of dying being unpleasant. I'm not sure that being dead will actually be unpleasant. I'm also not convinced that we go somewhere. Either, I for sure don't think that we go to hell if we were naughty. If you think hell is some place that's somewhere else, then you've never taught a high flex class during a pandemic. Because I'm telling you, we're already in hell, okay? Hell is like in our own mind. Oh, I've meant to bring this book about the body farm. I think there are a couple of body farms, and I'm very claustrophobic, extremely claustrophobic. I'm not in love with the idea of being buried. I also am not in love with the idea of cremation because part of me thinks like, what if I wake up and I'm not really dead and I don't have my body? But I mean, I know that's not going to happen. But I do like the idea of just being left somewhere to naturally go through whatever processes one would go through. And you can do that if you donate your body to the body farm, because they, I think there's more than one, I'm pretty sure. I think one is in South Carolina. I might be making that up. But I have a book about it, and basically they just study how bodies decay in certain situations. So if I could stipulate that I not be buried or put inside anything or underwater, that just like leave me in a tree, okay, and let the animals eat me. I'm also obsessed with, like Corbin said, true crime. I'm obsessed with Dateline and things like that. I don't really know why. I think somehow it's reassuring that I kind of want to figure out, like, why did they get murdered? Let me not do that. You know, the people who were the victims were always like the life of the party and everyone loved them. And I definitely don't have that going for me. So that's good. But I also have seen a lot about crime scene cleanup. And I think that is so fascinating because people don't really think about what happens when someone passes away and it's not so neat, or they're not found right away, and things happen. So I really admire those people. I also feel like hospice care is something that I've thought about volunteering to work in hospice, but I feel like my own apprehension and anxiety would really get in the way of helping people. I don't think people who are, in transition need to be around someone who's super anxious about it. So, but there's a group in this green cemetery that is near where I live. There's a group of people who volunteer to dig graves. And I think that's really cool because I just think it's, I've signed up, and sometimes digging a grave is, something that happens on a random Tuesday morning at the crack of dawn. And since I have to work, it's not always possible. But I think that is kind of a way to honor someone and honor, kind of make friends with that inevitability. So I guess I'm working toward accepting my mortality and being more positive about it. I think that the funeral industry is big money, and that's where we get this idea that we have to have a casket and we have to not decay and we have to have a bunch of makeup put on us, and it's kind of like when the dairy industry sold us the whole calcium thing. Like the best way to get calcium is not by drinking milk. But I just think that it's a big dollar business, and it might be time for some people to rethink how we do things. I really would like to care for my family when it's that time. And I would like for my family to care for me when it's that time. And I want that experience to have meaning. and to maybe not be so scary. I'm working on that. And the only reason I'm willing to talk is because it's, Halloween. And so it's appropriate. I don't feel like I'm tempting fate right now to talk about this. Okay, you guys, I will hopefully post this soon. Make sure you like or subscribe. Happy Halloween.